Let's focus on that top story, and it is Italy. For the first time ever, the European Commission could reject a budget proposal from one of its member states. Italy's populist government is playing the waiting game as Brussels reviews its controversial budget draft submitted last night. It includes basic income for pensioners, tax cuts for the self-employed, and a lower retirement age. Now, Italy's coalition government would need to borrow some €37 billion to deliver on those promises, but Brussels clearly doesn't want to add to Italy's debt. Its public debt is already among the highest in the EU. Now, the Commission has got 2 weeks to review the plan. It could then send it back for revisions if it violates EU rules. And tensions between the bloc and Italy have been running high since the original framework was released a few weeks ago. Let's crunch those numbers, take a closer look at them. Well, earlier this year, Italy had set a budget deficit target of 1.8%, but this new budget draft has upped it to 2.4%, though we should make clear it is comfortably below the EU's 3% ceiling. Alanis, let's start with you first of all. Isn't this essentially the government in Italy trying to deliver the promises that they stood on in their election manifesto earlier on this year?
Yes, absolutely. I have to say that after the elections, I went to Italy for a road trip that Euronews broadcasted. And exactly what I heard from people when I was talking to them, they expected exactly basic minimum income and a cut in taxes. They were overall, I would say there was a kind of a split between the south and the north. And in the south, they more expected like social measures, and in the north, the cutting of the tax for self-employed. So I would say that this is clearly a way to deliver what they promise, but the question is, where do they take the money? And according to the figures, there are some points that seem not really clear, at least to me, and maybe I can ask probably...
Where are you going to get the money from?
Actually, we are still waiting for the real paper, but we know that we have all the possibility to gain money. We have a lot of spending review, and we can show to the world that we are teacher in spending review. Every single administration we have in Italy has shown that we are able to cut.
But initially, at least, it means more debt.
Yes, we know.
Can Italy really afford more debt?
Yes, Italy need, but we can see everywhere in the world, and we can also listen to important economists. We can't, and also Europe show that in the experiment, the EU failed in achieving this goal. Only by cutting, you can't achieve anything. Even I can say, if your goal is to have more poverty, more the difference between poor and rich people, this is the right way. But if you want really to have solidarity and to have more people in a well-being, we need to have this kind of
So, Jan, do you think Italy can afford to be more indebted than it already is?
No, I don't think so. I see that Italy has a debt of 2,300 billion euros, so that's huge. So Italy doesn't have money. And if they want to solve the problems on economy, and that's the second point, I can imagine that you need some reforms and that you need to make decisions. What they are doing now, they are getting loans for more money, and they have already a huge debt. And they're also solving a problem with it that is not the right way to solve it. So more or less, Italy has a broken leg. And you're spending a lot of money for aspirins and painkillers, but you have to fix your broken leg.
You're shaking your head.
It's quite different what you say, because we have since, I think, almost 1996 that our balance is net. So we haven't lost in our balance. What it's shown that it is not the loan the problem. The problem is how you use these loans. And what the previous government showed is that they use in a badly way the money that they required, and actually they increase year after year the debt.
But that's the thing.
Now we need money to have different way in investing money. So it is different to spend.
So first of all, you're saying we have years and years of not a deficit in your budget. and it's net, it's zero. But you need to have a surplus. You need to have a surplus
We
to
have
get
surplus.
repaying all the loans, and you don't have money.
And this is what we are trying to do.
Now you're asking for more money, and you're spending it for lowering pension age. Like in a lot of member states, we have 67. You go from 66 to 64, you lower it, and you want to have a basic income. I don't know any example of a country that's giving those free gifts away to people. You have to reform your economy.
Each country in Europe.
This discussion already between the North
Actually,
and the
please
South.
be informed.
And I'm not worried about the European Union also, but I'm much more worried for the Italian people because this goes wrong.
There are divisions in Italy on this. Clearly, there are people who don't support what the government are trying to do. How much support is there, though, for essentially more spending and more social security?
I would say public opinion is split, but of course, many people, as I said before, they voted this coalition government in order to have those social measures, those social promises they were waiting for so long. But it doesn't really mean that what people really want is what is essentially good also for the economy. I just wonder if, for example, this basic minimum income wouldn't lead to more illegal work, for example. That's a practice that we can see in every member state.
Just in one word, is this budget going to go through? Is Brussels going to send it back? Yes or no?
I probably think so.
Yes or no?
No. The 60%, you can have a debt of 60% of your national income. It's not 60%, it's not even double, it's not even 120%, it's 130. So you're far, far away from the commitments that you made.
And you don't want to see a battle with Brussels either?
I hope no. So they should start a battle also with France, also with Germany.
But then,
for example, they have a surplus. They have been having a commercial surplus for many, many years. It's also violating the EU rules.
That's a point that many people will make. That there are other EU countries breaking rules as well. But guys, thank you very much indeed. Interesting discussion.